Lone Star Community Radio is looking for those who are interested in hosting their own talk show with monthly and weekly slots available in Conroe's FM 104.5, 106.1, and on irlonestar.com. Start your own podcast, create your first YouTube channel, and be on TV. Contact Lone Star Community Radio online at irlonestar.com or call the station message line at 936-647-3776 to take your first step into the radio world.
Hispanic Chamber Connections with Dr. Carlos Sanchez, President of the Woodlands Conroe Hispanic Chamber of Commerce, featuring event announcements, member highlights, and more. Tuesdays at 1 p.m., broadcasting from the heart of Conroe, Texas on irlonestar.com and Conroe's FM 104.5, 106.1.
Jennifer's got that grit. Meredith, yeah, she's got that grace. I need some more grit and grace with Jennifer and Merideth on Lone Star Community Radio.
That kid, I love it. Every time he says my name, he growls it. Have you noticed that?
I know.
With Jennifer and Meredith.
He is something. If listeners, if you're just tuning in, of course, we're here every morning from 8 to 10, but we have families too.
Yes.
Our boys are actually really talented, and that one you just heard is Jensen,
That's
Jennifer's
my baby
son.
boy. Yeah.
He is so precious, and he happens to be great on the mic, so he just did some great liners for us. And, of course,
Yes,
if you
he did.
stay tuned, you'll get to hear my boy and some of our liners, too. You know, we put them to work. There's
That's
no
right.
rules against that. We're family, so...
Well, that's because they took over when they were here.
Yes,
In
they're only
August, so-
allowed once a year because
right.
they'll take our jobs.
That's
and
right.
That's not right.
Yeah.
Not gonna do it.
It was
right?
kind of like a train wreck.
It was.
It really was.
It was
but
a hilarious one. You got to stay
Yes.
tuned in August for it because more or less we just step back and see the chaos.
Yes, pretty
And
much.
Pretty good. I mean, yeah, we just have to pay the fees afterwards, whatever.
Right.
But we're fine.
Right.
All right. So anyway, let's talk about our wonderful guest today.
Yes,
right
let's
before
do
the
that.
break, I told listeners, of course, we've got the 25th annual Putnam County Spelling Bee going on next door at the Owen County Theater, at the Owen Theater. I'm just throwing all kinds of stuff together, guys. I'm making it up, right? But really, we've got two of the great production teams. We've got director Marieda. Dang it. I had it perfect until you put me on the air. Lynn, she's making her directorial debut, but she's been a part of the community, especially with the theater for, well over a decade. So I can't wait to hear that. And then, of course, one of the great actors, Nico himself. He plays Chip Tolentino.
Yep.
Yeah. So I welcome to the show. Thank y'all so much for coming, even though I messed up your name. I'm sorry, Marieda. But I got it right now. Bam. I'm going to give myself points every time I get it right for my own purpose, I don't know. But anyway, welcome. Oh, look at this. Shakespeare stepping in. I love it. All right, you better stick around. I know, I was about to say, I'm sure Rick...
I don't want to hijack your interview.
I was about to say, we just got started, but I know Rick and Marieda, you possibly, y'all have worked together, I'm sure. Yeah, because here at actually the station you started, I was about to say, come stop in a little bit, handsome. I love your outfit. You're looking good. Little romance. Give me a poem. Come read it to me. Anyway, sorry. I digress. Sorry. Handsome
Shakespeare
cowboy.
wrote sonnets.
Oh, okay. All right. I wish I had something to throw at her, but I do not. So we will proceed with our wonderful guest. So yes, Marieda, please tell, and our listeners, they've probably heard a lot about the shows that you've been a part of and really just don't know how much history you have in the community. So first, why don't you inform us about that and what really landed this great opportunity for you and really inspired you to actually spearhead it?
Well, I've done theater here in Conroe for 20 years, beginning last year. So my first show was at the Creighton Theater and was Smoke on the Mountain, and I had gone in dead for cold reading. I had never done any theater. I'd never auditioned for anything. I wasn't going to, but my aunt wanted me to play for her for an audition, and so I did. And while I was playing, the director decided that I needed to be in the show, and so I had the female lead of June Sanders.
Hold on, your first show and you get the female lead? Okay, I'm making notes here. Let's journal that. My good night. Okay, keep going. Sorry, I'm like, what?
So anyway, there was I had to play the piano and sing on stage, part of the character. It was a really wonderful show, and it was the most fun I'd ever had in my life, just for myself. You know, we're not doing something for someone else, having fun, and that was it. The next show I did, I was costuming for The King and I, and then I just fell into assistant directing for an awful lot of shows and doing stuff at both of the theaters. So the last show that I costumed across over here at the Crichton was Addams Family Musical, and I became the president of the Players Theater Company, which is at the Owen Theater this past year, and I had submitted a play, the 25th Annual Putnam County Spelling Bee, hoping that if given an opportunity, I could direct it, because I had seen the play on Broadway, and the play lends itself specifically to that type of theater. And when I saw it on Broadway and laughed really hard, and of course, just the fun that you have in the audience on Broadway encourages you. You want to do anything. If you see anything on Broadway, you immediately want to take it up and do it yourself. And so I was very encouraged then, thinking how much that show needed to come to Conroe. And when given the opportunity, they allowed me to go ahead and direct it. And I was quite excited.
Oh, well, and she's being so humble, because I know her involvement, so much talent, and I love that, as we hear with a lot of people that are just passionate about their, the expertise, that you get hooked, right? So that first one you got hooked on, and that's just wonderful. When we spoke, you were saying that you had seen the production in many places, and I know Broadway has got to be, if you will, the extravaganza of it all, but that you had fallen in love with it then, and over the years just grew. And so when you had the opportunity to submit something for, the next season, that was your first one, correct?
Yes, it was. And I did see it in its different venues. I saw a high school performance, a college performance, and then another community theater, and tried to evaluate, what worked and what didn't work. And I think that some of the things that we do over here at the Owen for this particular show is better than what I've seen on Broadway.
Really?
Wow. I do. I like some of the characterizations better than what I saw on Broadway. And I know that one of my characters in particular presents a better performance than what I saw on Broadway.
Oh, that's so awesome. Well, and I know that's amazing. I cannot tell you again, how many times I have been just in love with the community and the culture here, because I just, an outsider coming in, had no idea exactly what to expect. But there is so much talent in this community, including, of course, yourselves here with us today, that have you always been a part of the Conroe and wanted to pursue others? Because you said 20 years, and I know that but with your travels, you've got to be really impressed with the culture and community as well.
I am. There's an awful lot of stuff that is more available now in Conroe than there used to be. 20 years ago, you had the Choral Society, and you had one theater, and not a whole lot. You had a very small art gallery, not what we have now. And then things just started to boom when Conroe started to expand, and so many people started moving here, and so the county itself started to increase, and with that brought talent and people who are willing to say, you know what, we need a bigger arts venue. And so that has been exciting, knowing that you've got so much more to look at and so much more art to go to. And we have a little flag park over next to the main library, and I'm the president of the Friends of the Flag Foundation, but that is an incredibly beautiful park, and now, it's visible from 45. There's an awful lot of stuff in Conroe that we did not have years ago, and the county itself is just so much better for it.
Oh, absolutely.
So much better for it.
Well, and I love, we're blessed to be a part of this station, that gets a lot of support and power from, of course, the city of Conroe. But seeing things grow just in the short time I've been here, but also because I didn't, go in and day out to the office, don't think about it. And I've been really blessed to learn more about downtown Conroe, which has opened my eyes to really the culture. So it's been really cool. But I wanted to get everybody included or involved about your history, because I don't want them thinking, we're just putting on this great production. There's so much history involved with it. So now let's get to the great show, because I love hearing about the quirkiness of the characters. And it's a musical, but then it's so much more, the comedy and everything, and even the audience involvement, correct?
Audience participation, yes.
So, for our listeners that aren't familiar with the show itself, why don't you give them a quick kind of synopsis without giving too much away about the show?
The show is about 6 finalists for their county spelling bee. So you have 6 supposed juveniles. They're supposed to be adolescents. I've cast adults in these roles, which is done in most of the productions that I've seen. And these adolescents come for the finals of the county spelling bee. There are 4 audience members that are pulled up on stage to also participate, and they have to do their best to spell the words. And, and eventually, of course, they are eliminated. But, too sad for them. But, I mean, as with all spelling bees, there's ultimately one winner. So even of my cast, they're all eliminated except for one. And each night, it really is exciting to see what happens, because there is improv in this particular show that is not allowed in most productions ever. You have a script, and you're supposed to follow a script. This particular script has sections that says, okay, do an ad lib here, do an improv here. And with your audience members, of course, you have to, because you have no idea what they're going to do. But the script itself allows for a lot of individual. Every night is a new experience, and we never really know what's going to happen, and it is just so much fun to watch that. And this particular show, also, you break that 4th plane, and the 4th plane, most people know at this point that 4th plane in a theater is the audience itself. You're usually in a play, you would never break that plane. You always contain your story to what's on stage. But this particular show, you specifically interact with the audience itself. You talk directly to them, and that's a little bit different than most of the productions that you're going to see. Therefore, you've got more audience participation. You've got more people jumping in and creating whatever. I mean, we tell them at the front of the show, these kids come up here and they're spellers, and please applaud, clap root for your favorite speller. So that's what we want every night, is for them to be enthusiastic and root for their favorite spellers.
Even if they're going down.
Yeah,
I love
right.
that.
Actually, that's one of the lines in there. You're going down.
How fun.
I know. I love the idea of it. I love the improv, too. Jen and I, of course, can definitely appreciate it. And I want to know how tryouts were like. So, Nico.
Oh, boy.
I know. Give us your history, because I mean, when we got to speak briefly before coming on air, you were saying that I asked if you were a native, because your comment about the Texan background, I was like, well, is he native? And you said you grew up in Dallas but traveled a lot. So when you came and you learned about it, is this your first production in the Conroe area?
Actually, I mean, the ON does the TAC summer program, so like the teen acting camp, and so I did 2 of those. I did Into the Woods Junior and Sound of Music Junior. I was the leads.
Nice.
And this was actually my first acting in a major role at the ON. Previously, I've been in Little Women as a supporting ensemble, and I had done tech work before with Little Mermaid and Beauty and the Beast.
Okay, listeners, heads up. This is a junior in high school, so
Yes.
we are getting a preview before this celebrity. So thank you, because yes, I can already see the future is going to be quite bright for you, sir. But continue, yes.
Okay. And then I noticed that we're doing this show, and it's one of my favorite musicals. It's super funny. I've seen so many clips of it online, and it's hilarious. And I go in, and we had to prepare a song and a monologue. I had a song, but I didn't have a monologue, so I just decided to kind of make one up on the spot.
He did an angry old black lady as his monologue.
What did she get angry about that day, sir?
It's actually, so I do UIL speech and debate, and I do prose, and I took some of the lines from that piece into my monologue, but I couldn't remember it all, so about 75% of it was improv.
He just
That is
made it
wow.
up on the spot as an angry black lady. And then what happened, because I wasn't casting an angry black lady in this show, and he was my first person to come and audition, weren't you? I think you were the very first one to walk in to audition.
Wow.
We pulled them in by the order that they signed up, and so he was the first one. And so after he did that, I had each person come in and do both their monologue and then their song. So after he finished his monologue, I slid the script across to him and said,
you gave me a paragraph of a male character and said, "Read this."
As a
Male.
teenage boy.
As a teenage boy.
Like, as yourself, read this as a teenage boy. I'd like to see what a teenage boy would sound like as opposed to an angry old black lady.
Well, and flying colors, I presume,
Thank
that
you.
you now are, of course, part of the cast. And give us a little insight into how you really, I guess, related, and we're not actors, so we're laymen, but how do you relate, kind of start to get into your character?
With every character, I try to see if I can bring any of myself into it. So kind of like method acting, but not totally method. And with this character, he's actually a Boy Scout, which I am. I'm an Eagle Scout.
Oh, wow.
So like when you see the show, I'm wearing my actual Eagle Scout uniform, and everything on my body I've actually earned before. So that was really one of like the main roles. And then also, he's just super cocky about himself. He's really, putting him out there. He's
that seems totally like you.
Yeah.
Not at all.
I pulled him deep down and I got that confidence out.
That is so hilarious. He's quite polite young man and very humble. And here he is. He's like, and then he's cocky.
Well, he sings, his particular character sings the most aggressive, well-known song of this particular
One of the
show.
better-known songs
Yes,
of
it
the
is.
show.
It is indeed one of the better.
Try not to let the cat out of the bag. I love it.
I can't. But I do know that when I gave the cast their trophies, because I had trophies engraved for each one of them on opening night. So I had something very specific to each person, whether it was their character or them as they, inhabit their character. And so Nico's was his character suffers from acute, adolescent hormones. That is what his character does. And so his trophy said, instead of acute adolescent hormone, it said A-cute adolescent hormone.
All on a trophy, man. That's pricey. When they go by the letter, look at that. Well, no, when you were leading up to it, I was like, narcissism. Did you get him a mirror on the trophy? Is that what it was? I didn't know, but no, that's so fun, and I'm sure. I mean, you've just got to love it. This whole dynamic. I mean, both as a director, but also acting yourself. And I love that Chip is a little bit outside your comfort zone, because obviously a little different than what you're every day to day.
Yes.
But as an actor.
Really? You think so?
I think so. I like to think so.
Oh, in such a short time, you could just tell the wonderful dynamic between the teams, because as a director, I imagine you want to be able to connect and be able to get involved with your actors and be able to kind of channel and understand how to direct them, right? So
you really do, because when you're given a show, you have a vision for what you expect, what you really want to see on stage, and therefore you need to get that from your actors, and so you do want to make a connection. And I think each one of the actors have found that I sincerely have an extreme affection for each one of them. And one of the things that I told them, I think the night before we opened, was that when you have a cast, a long time ago, at the Owen, 20 years ago, when you had rehearsals, the cast would get together almost every night, and they would go out to eat. They created relationships. And so when you look at some of the older actors, the ones who have been around in Conroe for many, many years, they have a very close relationship with the ones that they started out with, because you developed those friendships. It wasn't just, okay, I'm doing a show, and when this show is over, I'm leaving, and I've got other things to do, and you dismiss that portion. They really developed friendships, and that's what I wanted so very much for this cast, to develop those relationships, and I think they've done that.
I mean, when you're together like 4 or 5 days for 3 months, and you're there like 3 hours a day, you get, like, I'm glad I got to know the people that I do in this show, and these are like lifelong friendships.
That's awesome.
I love that. And one of the things that I think a lot of our listeners, because I know Jenn wants to ask about some of the family friendliness, right? But I want to know, what about if I wasn't family? If I'm just going, I would love it too, right? Just solo by myself, or as a date night, right?
For sure.
Yes.
So I think it's the improv factor that is so fun. But Jenn, what were you asking about the family friendliness?
What do you think families will walk out being able to share and learn from the show?
That you don't have to be the best at something in order to win at life.
That is so sweet. Well, especially because they do need to know that.
Yeah.
I think everybody does get a trophy at a lot of things, which, we encourage, but there's going to be failures.
No, I don't agree with that.
Yeah, we encourage in the sense that we want everyone to have those moments where they know they matter, but we don't need to let them think everybody's going to always be equals. You got to earn it. You got to, work your way, and you don't always get to be number one because there's only one, but there's always going to be someone better or someone not as great as you in the world. That's just how the nature of the beast, and that's how we keep growing, right? But I particularly love the idea of the improv because it cracks me up to think that you're just, you do pick them out before the show begins.
Yes, I vet the individuals from the audience. You go up and you ask them, would you be interested in being in the show? And you look for a particular person that is going to maybe bring something to the stage, although they are not supposed to act. And they are very clearly told, please do not act on stage. You are supposed to get up there and just do the best you can, spelling your word, whatever your word is, and ask for two things. You ask for the definition and the word to be used in a sentence. And, watch the other cast members. They'll help you along. But please don't act. Just do your best to spell the word. And invariably, someone gets up there and they're just so stunned. And we have had some people get up and really try to act. It's like, okay, well, we'll be giving you a really serious word in just 1 second.
I'm writing that down. Note to self: no acting with Marieda. No, that's so fun. So one of the things, because I know we are right now, of course, being the 24th, we've got one more week of productions going on, and tonight, of course. But want to just, because we've got a few minutes left before I think y'all are going to put us on the spot, want to find out what exactly you think the season thus far has been like some of the more memorable. We only got a couple minutes, but I'd love to hear things that have kind of popped up that this season in particular, because it's been going on since the 9th, correct? So anything wild or new that you just, I'm sure every day is fresh because, again, it's kind of an improv show. You have your actors, but that fourth wall, is it that you call it? Because you were saying plain. Everybody knows it except Meredith that I learned today. Okay, so what are some of those memorable moments this season thus far?
With my song, I guess I'll start there. It is better known, but it's also one of the more edgy, as I would put it, songs. So we have had people leave after my song.
See, I don't feel like the song is edgy. I tell people at the front of the show that the show is about adolescents suffering puberty. They're going through puberty and the trials and tribulations of it. And I tell people, remember what it was like, what you were having to deal with when you were going through puberty, and everything is so exaggerated. Mm-hmm. And, adolescents don't always think right because their frontal lobe isn't developed and, they're just an accident waiting to happen. And so there's no swearing in the show at all. All the swear words are removed. The script gives us allowance for that. But I left this particular song in because it is so incredibly true.
And it's hilarious.
It is hilarious. Half of my audience is men. They know they've had to suffer through this. The other half are women who are married to those men who've had kids, sons, and they've had to go through this. So while some people feel like this song is, edgy, or I don't want to say controversial, because I don't feel like it is. Yeah, yes. I think some feel like that it might be, and yet it's not. It's like this is absolutely true, and every man out there has suffered this, and every adolescent boy has suffered this. So I feel like the show is really suited to adolescents and up. If you get younger than that, they're not going to understand the song anyway, but I don't feel like it's inappropriate. I just feel like it's very truthful, and that's the reason that this boy is existing.
Right.
This acute adolescent hormone.
That is hilarious. Okay, well, and I know there's so many memories going on, including like every day there's going to be more, but we've got to take a quick break. We only have a couple minutes for you to put us on the spot, something that because you are so word savvy there that I thought, you've got to flip it on us, and I was going to try to put Jennifer on the spot, but I let the cat out of the bag, yada, yada, yada. We're going to take a quick break, and then we're going to come back, and maybe we'll figure out if we can spell. It's Grit and Grace with Jennifer and Merideth, only on Lone Star Community Radio.
What can the Better Living for Texans program do for you? You can learn how to increase your consumption of fruits and vegetables, choose foods that are relatively inexpensive and good to eat, make your food dollars last longer, prepare quick, nutritious meals, help your children learn how to eat healthier snacks, and much more. Our program is committed to helping people like you improve your health through providing research-based nutrition education in a friendly, cost-free, and relaxed environment. We are Texas A&M AgriLife Extension, helping Texans make their lives better.
I don't know about you, but I need me some more of that grit and grace. Where are you at, Jennifer and Merideth?
What? We are right here. You're listening to Grit and Grace with Jennifer and Meredith. I know. I told them, I said, we're taking a quick break. They're like, whoa. Thank you, Nico, for a good covering actor. No, I'm just kidding. We've got Nico and Marieda here. They're part of the production of the 25th Annual Putnam County Spelling Bee, going on at Owen Theater, started March 9th, going on till the 31st. A wonderful production. It's a musical, comedy, improv. It's just everything packed into one, and you've got to see. Tonight, they actually prep productions at 8 o'clock. Tickets are still available for either at the door or purchase in advance. Fun for the family, fun for, just anyone. Frankly, you can go in as a date night, bring the whole family. It's going to be great. And a lot of spontaneous joy, which is going to be just so great to enjoy. And speaking personally, I'm like, I would love it, especially taking my boy now that I know Nico's struggles. His character, Chip, excuse me. But yes, so right before the break, I was like, I want them to put us on the spot because they're so word savvy, even if it is the production itself. So I thought, why don't you put us for game of the week. You give us a word, see if we could spell it. We'll start off with my lady Jennifer because she happens to be the smartest one between us.
Okay. All right, I'll give you a word that hasn't been used in our show yet, but it's an option that I gave we have two individuals who, are the host, and Mr. Panch. Mr. Panch gives the words, and so this is one I told him that we could use throughout, and it's lanyap.
Lanyap.
Mm-hmm.
Lanyap.
Nope. Would you like a definition?
I love her grit. Nope. Polite grit, too. Or grit and grip.
A lanyap is an extra, a bonus given. Like if you ordered soup and the waiter decides that he would give you some sour cream and cheese and stuff extra. Just a little bit extra, like with a purchase, but it's an unexpected bonus. That's a lanyap.
How do you spell it?
Lagniappe.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, man. Okay.
Oh, too bad.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think I prefaced our conversation with keep it sweet because I'm HISD kid, but go ahead. Lay it on me. What's my word? Nico?
Dungy.
What?
Dungy.
I thought you said Dougie, like
No.
the Dougie. Dungy.
Mm-hmm.
Would you like the word?
I would.
Would you like the definition?
I
Would you like
would.
the
Could you?
definition?
It is a disease caused by mosquitoes that you have
That causes
that causes diarrhea
and
and
other
upset
issues.
stomach.
Yes.
Yes, other issues as well.
Okay, so a little foreshadowing of what is to come my week. I appreciate that. All right, Dungy. Dunguey.
No, not close at all.
Oh, I was waiting for that. This is so bad. Okay, how do you do it? Nope.
It's DENGUE.
GUE.
But it's DEN, and most people do the DEU.
Yes, because phonetically. Good night. Look, I'm writing that down. Especially because when I talk to the doctor, I'll be like, it is Dungy. That's what it is. All right. One more for my lady before we have to head off.
Ennui.
Ooh.
Oh, crap. Ennui. That's like a feeling, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah.
Like listlessness.
Yes. Okay.
Easy for you to say, yes, Marieda.
Ennui.
Or bored.
AWNOUI.
No, but throwing in all the extra letters.
She's pulling all of those.
ENNUI.
ENNUI.
Yeah.
Really? I love that. Okay, now I want to know. Listen, I'm like, I want to know more, but we got to go. Okay, we got actually the 9 o'clock. We've got to head off to. But thank y'all so much for putting us on the
Thanks for
spot.
having
And
us.
I mean, what a great team. And I know we just had a couple of you in, but thank you so much for joining us this morning and being open to reschedule, Marieda, because I know I threw you a little loop there. But listeners, you got to check it out. Going on till the 31st, the 25th annual Putnam County Spelling Bee Productions going on right here in downtown Conroe at the Owen Theater. Productions are tonight and through the 31st. You're going to want to get a ticket. You can purchase them in advance or even at the door. It's an amazing production, musical, comedy, improv, a little bit of everything. You're going to walk out laughing and get to just see some great talent that we have here in the community. And I'm just so thankful because I know Nico, let's get this all straight, because he's going to be, he already is, but a junior in high school. This boy's got a bright future and great manners. I love that. But yes, thank y'all so much for coming. We cannot wait to hear about just your next production together. It's going to be great. And I know you've got an amazing team behind you because Nico was available. Thank you. But there's got to be so many more there, so we can't wait to watch them. Again, listeners, definitely check them out. 25th annual Putnam County Spelling Bee, and yes, Owen Theater till the 31st. Thank y'all so much for joining us.
Thank you.
Oh, so great. Yes, we're going to take a quick break. We'll come back for the 9 o'clock hour, so y'all stay tuned. It's Grit and Grace with Jennifer and Merideth.